Welcome one and welcome all, and welcome to the Lady T's Let's Talk podcast. And I'm your girl, Lady T. And like always, I hope everyone is having a very bright and beautiful Sunday. And I would like to start off by saying that I'm now on YouTube. So if you catch this segment, you can also catch my segments on YouTube as well. This segment in particular, this topic that I'm about to do today, I have dropped it on YouTube. And for all you guys who want to go and see me as well as hear me, you're more than welcome to. Just go to YouTube and pull up Lady T's Let's Talk. And hey, your girl will pop right up. So without further ado, I want to bring this topic to you guys. It's a very hot topic that everyone lately is talking about. And it's about the Monique addresses the hairbonnets situation. So everybody's talking about it. It's all on the media now. Well, a couple of days ago, Monique had came out and she basically gave her input on what she saw while she was at an airport. And basically she saw some women at the airport, and they had bonnets and scarves and pajamas and blankets wrapped around them. So it didn't really set too well with her, so she addressed the situation. A lot of people agreed with her, a lot of people didn't agree with her. So basically I said, you know what, I'm gonna do a video and I'm going to address the address. So basically my input and my take on it is this. Monique has always, in my eyes, she's always been upfront and very opinionated, and when she do so, she do it very respectfully. So like I said, she was in public and she addressed the situation. She saw some sisters and hey, she spoke on it and she gave her full-fledged opinion about it, and that's where that go. A lot of people in the industry did reach out as well and rebutted against, as far as the video. Some agreed with it, some didn't. I agree with her 100%. I feel everything that she, like I said, that she spoke about in her video, she was pretty much on point about. I agree with the fact that, when you're coming from a place of love, you speak on it, and we have deemed her auntie. She's auntie. That's who she is, and she was telling her input, and she witnessed it, she saw it, she spoke on it. So, with that being said, now, since I'm speaking on a topic, like always, I want to bring some insight into this bonnet topic, especially to my listeners. Because even though some of us know what a bonnet is, some of us may not even have a clue as to what a bonnet is, or what Monique is even talking about, or what I may be talking about for that matter. But I'm going to show you, as well as get a better understanding to you as to what's going on. As far as the bonnet, now I will go deeper into the segment, and I'm gonna move on, like I said, from this. And representation is everything. And I want to share with you guys what I found out and give you guys some history surrounding the bonnet and how it affects Black women today. This bonnet situation gets deep, y'all. And it affects our community and our sisters. Did you know the bonnet was only worn by high society women in the 17th century, and it became standard in women's fashion by the 1800s? Now, when I speak of women, I'm speaking of black women. I've never really seen too many Caucasian women wear the bonnet. I don't think I've never seen any Caucasian women wear a bonnet. Let me correct that. I've seen them wear the bonnet, but I've seen them, on a movie or on a TV show. Maybe it was a pretty old TV show and I've seen them wearing it, But as far as wearing it like we wear it, no, I've never seen that, because the bonnet now has become a fashion statement to the African American culture. It's something that probably started, I would say, probably like 3-4 years ago, and now it's more popular than ever, and to me, it all depending on how you rock it. I don't agree with coming out in public wearing a bonnet, and you have on pajamas, maybe a robe and some slippers, and you decide to run down to Walmart. No, I don't agree on that. But I do believe if you wear a bonnet, wear it respectfully. Sometimes, we may be running out, we may just got our hair done and we don't want to get it messed up, or we may be running from the beauty salon and decide to stop off at the store before we go home, and we're wearing this bonnet to keep our hair in place, But a lot of sisters do wear it, and they wear it respectfully. So I would say if you're going to do that, just wear it, in good taste, and it's all good, Did you also know that the bonnet became both a rite of passage and a personal piece of identity for enslaved African Americans? Now, when I ran across these statements, these questions I ran across, I said to myself, wow, this is something that I never knew. And this basically all surrounds this bonnet that's in question. And I'm like, how deep does this stuff get? So I went in even further, because like me, I will do my research and I will dig, and I'll keep digging until I get the vital information that I'm looking for. So I'll continue and shed even more light. So to understand the history of the bonnet is to read up on the Tignan Law. So I advise everyone, if you want to get some better understanding as to what this bonnet situation is, read on the Tignan Law. Now, this was a law which was passed in 1786 by a Spanish governor in Louisiana by the name of Esteban Rodriguez Mero. Now, he passed it basically, and this is what I'm getting from this, he passed this law basically to suppress Creole black women of color. And from what I'm gathering, it was done out of some form of jealousy towards these women. And here's why. It was aimed to prohibit Creole women of color from displaying excessive attention to dress in the streets of New Orleans. It was aimed to prohibit Creole women of color from displaying excessive attention to dress in the streets of New Orleans. Now, this is a policing law aimed at policing black hair, if that makes any sense. Right, yeah, a policing law aimed at policing black hair. Now, I'm going to bring you guys up to a flash and bring you back, rather, to 1970s. In the 1970s, because of this policing of black women's hair and the fact that they wanted to oppress us, from wearing our hair, showing our regalness. By the 1970s, there was a movement among Black women and men to wear their hair naturally, in a natural form, whether it be curly or kinky. And it became a movement, and the movement continues till this very day. This was a self-love movement. That's what that was. It was a self-love movement. You know, you wear your afros and you wear it proudly. You wear your kinky tresses and you wear it proudly. And that movement continues till this very day. And it all stems back from oppressing us and not wanting us to show our beautiful natural hair and how we, comb it and put it up and curl it, or however we would wear it. It was to keep us oppressed, because what these women back in New Orleans would do would be they would wear their hair and they would put feathers in it, or they would put some type of a flower in it, or they would put jewels and gems in it, and it would cause this attention, and it would make them look really regal and really wealthy. And to oppress them, they created this law. They enacted this law that would basically say you have to wear something covering your hair. So yeah, that's what the Tignon law is. So how did this law come to be in Louisiana? One would ask that question. So we know it was some sort of policing aimed at Creole women. Okay, we know that. Now, the law said that these women had to wear a tignon. Now, that's what the tignon is. Tignon stands for a head covering, a bonnet. They had to cover their hair because these women would, like I said, wear these jewels and gems and feathers. It posed too much attention to them and basically took attention away from the white woman. And it brought attention to them. And from what I was reading from the article, the white men would be attracted to this. Now, I'm breaking this down like, I'm interpreting it. It may sound a bit bold, but hey, this is what I'm getting. This was what was happening in the 1700s in Louisiana. And it all, like I said, surrounds the bonnet, the history of the bonnet. Now, during this culture and time in the 1700s, this was about the 18th century. We know that during this time, Louisiana was a French colony from 1682 to 1763, and later on became a Spanish colony from 1763 to 801. Now, the colonies impacted lives of enslaved people in Louisiana during this time. So, the enslaved people had the right, and they were able, and they could buy back their freedom. Now, while the enslaved people were buying back their freedom, other slaves couldn't. They didn't have that ability to do so. Now, because of this, there was a growth amongst the free slaves, and came about, many were able to build wealth from this. And this impacted the culture at the time in the society in Louisiana. So this led to interracial relationships. Many women of Creole descent, they, were descendants of this interracial relationship. And so the fashion and the style became more abrupt, and they became more elaborate with it, and their hair, and it, brought a sort of sense of, it destroyed the order of things, is what I'm trying to say. I guess the order of things didn't sit right with the higher ups. Now, this is when the haterade stepped in. The power tripping, hating ass Rodriguez, he moved in for the kill. So he passed this law, the Tignan Law, because in his eyes, the Creole women were becoming too much to handle. And he felt he needed to do something about this. And this was, like I said, threatening the order of things. But this is the kicker. Hating-ass Rodriguez not only put the law into effect to keep the sisters from wearing elaborate dress and showing off their hair, he also put this law into effect because he wanted to relinquish the Creole women from attracting the white man. And they were becoming a threat to the white women and getting a certain status from the white woman. So it was all basically about power tripping, jealousy, and it all stems around this bonnet. So, I gave this rundown on how the bonnet became, and how it's so significant within our culture and to our women, especially women of color. Because how are we to know where we are going if we don't know where we come from? And it all begins with history, knowing something about our history and how things which were put out and how things were done, how that affects us today in our everyday lives. So, in conclusion of the Tignan Law, and as an end result to this law, this whole law backfired in old hating-ass Rodriguez's face, because he thought he was oppressing the sisters by keeping this law into effect. Well, like always, the sisters always have a sense of style, and we always very creative with what we do. So what they ended up doing was they ended up putting gems and jewels and decorating their head wraps and their bonnets. So it all backfired in the end. You can't keep a sister down too long. So with that being said, as in, stated earlier, as I was talking about the Monique video, our sister Monique was 100%. I agree with her. And I feel as though our sisters need our support. We all need to be able to inspire and motivate and nurture one another. And we can learn so much from one another. And since I'm speaking on this topic, why not bring that history into play? So that's what I did. And like I say to all my sisters, continue to rock your bonnets, scarves, and rock it well. Just remember, in the words of our sister Monique, representation is everything, because we all are queens, and wear your crown proud. And like always, this is your girl, Lady T, and I'm signing off for another segment. And until next time, ciao.